Perfect. Okay. Good evening, everyone, and everyone that's going to be tuning in from the recording. Got Khalil here with Ali Pouchet. Say hi, Ali.
Hi.
We're going to do a nice training session today on Canva. And before we get started, I just want to give everyone a heads up. I don't know if you had the chance or pleasure to speak with Ali via Facebook, texting, whatever it might be. But just to give you a little insight on what Allie's doing, she's a coffee queen first and foremost. And she has grown her business consistently from July 16th through today on an average of 64% month over month. That's amazing, consistent growth. And that is because, and she'll say it right to you, is from consistent activity and consistent habits. And she has been very diligent at reaching out to people, starting conversations, connecting with people, and having fun while doing it. And it's paying off. It's taken time. Anything worthwhile takes time. And I mean, if I were to say it, 3 months isn't that much time. So pretty amazing. And she has done this through setting end goals for each month. But she really focuses on her activity. And she has goals for that as well. And so that's really been paying off. And a big part of that, and I think she'll attest to this, is using her Instagram, social media, YouTube to keep a consistent message out in the field, along with having people find her and explore her life, whether that's through products or whether that's through something that's happening in her day-to-day world. She is top 5 in sales this month, and she has been in top 10 for the entire company since launch. So enough chit chat from me. I'm going to hand it over to Ali and let you guys be wowed by her Canva skills. So I am switching it over right now, Ali.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Okay. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ali Pouchet. I live in Casper, Wyoming, which if you've never heard of that, that does not surprise me. We're kind of the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's a metropolis, but it's in the middle of rural everything. So it takes 4 hours to get anywhere, really. But I love it here. It's really fun. So I am a wife. I am a mother of one daughter named Riley, and I work full time. So everything that you see me doing or that I'm going to share with you or that you see on my social media is done in my, what I like to call spare time, which is really non-existent, but you make time for the things that are important to you. And this is really important to me. So today I want to talk about making your own graphics and specifically how to use Canva to further your business and market yourself and help you set yourself apart from, the crowd. We're all trying to bring brand awareness, but I think it's really important also to kind of brand yourself and make yourself recognizable and have things that, people look for and they know that it's you. So that's kind of the importance of creating your own graphics. Sorry, I have notes right here, so if you see me looking over. The importance of creating your own graphics is your personal branding. We sell Style Life, but our customers they could shop with anybody, and that would be okay, but you want your customers to be loyal to you, and part of the way that you do that is by establishing branding, by sharing who you are as a person, making yourself, like I said, recognizable, and that we can do that using our graphics and using the stuff that we post on social media. Specifically, the things that I use are like fonts. I use specific fonts, and almost every single thing I post on social media, I have a logo that I use, and I put it on every image that I post on social media, and colors. So we have some branded Style Life colors, but I also have colors that I use for my personal brand. And I think that that's really important too, so that when you see those colors combined with my logo and combined with my font choices, that you can tell that it's mine, that I made it, that it represents my business. It's a really important part of your marketing strategy. And I'm really big on marketing strategy. I think it's so important to have a plan, not just be, throwing noodles against the wall to see what sticks. I think it's really important to kind of find, try things out, obviously, test out different methods, but it's really important to kind of create a plan. And branding yourself and having a recognizable brand for yourself is a big part of your marketing strategy. That works as a funnel to draw customers into you. If you have something that's aesthetically pleasing and it's pretty to look at, people are going to want to look at what else you have. So that works as a funnel to bring you new clients. And it also works, like I said, to kind of set you apart and make you stand out in someone's mind. One of my favorite business quotes is, "A rising tide lifts all ships." We're all working toward the same end game, which is to bring brand recognition to Style Life and introduce everybody that we know to this amazing company that we love. But you can do that by also kind of setting yourself apart too. So it's twofold. You're able to do both at the same time. It's not one or the other. And one really good example of how this sort of marketing funnels people to you is, I actually had a very recent example. A woman signed up with me yesterday. She may be on this call. I'm not sure. Her name is Angela. And she found me on YouTube. And she said, she found me on YouTube. She liked the way my channel looked. She liked my branding, my logo. Everything was consistent. And then that drew her to more of my videos. And then that drew her to, she went to my other social media platforms. I'm not sure what route she took. But then she ended up finding me on Facebook and sent me a message and said, "Hey, I really like, everything that you've posted. I think you're really great." So what's really going to catch people's attention is what you post on social media, like your graphics, your logos, and all that. And then they get a chance to get to know you, which is why they stay loyal to you. So one big thing in business is like, know, trust. What is it? Yeah. No like and trust. No like and trust. So they get to know you. They see who you are. They like what they see via your branding or whatever, or what you're posting. And then they like you as a person. That grows, and then they trust you, and then they become loyal to you. So that's like kind of a key ingredient in the process there. One thing that's really important, I think we need to address up front, is how to make time for content creation. So any entrepreneur will tell you that content creation is really important, and it is a income producing activity. I use that term a lot. Anything that you are doing to further your marketing strategy or your branding or further your business in any way is an income producing activity. And content creation is a really big one. We're super, super lucky that Style Life gives us beautiful images to use on our social media or, in our marketing or like on our signage. But I think it's important to take that a step further and kind of enhance that. And again, just kind of make it yours. And one way to make time for that is batch creation. So when I make my graphics, and not all of the time, sometimes I'll sit down and just make one or two for stuff that's come up kind of last minute. But what my plan is usually every week, I have a pretty clear idea of what I'm posting every single day on Instagram and on Facebook. YouTube is one of those things where I have several videos, but I don't post every single week. So for me, it's mostly Instagram and Facebook. And I have a pretty solid plan in place at the beginning of every week of what I'm posting. And most of the time that content is scheduled. So I don't even have to go in and manually post it every week. It schedules automatically. Facebook has a native scheduler that you can use to upload content. I use a phone app for my Instagram scheduling, but that's, a little bit separate. But so creating your content all at once and having a plan in place allows you to sit down and dedicate 1 hour or 30 minutes or however much time you have to creating those graphics or those videos or whatever that you're creating for that week, and do it all at once. And it's so much faster because you don't have the setup time, you don't have the breakdown time, you don't have to get yourself situated. You get yourself situated once, you sit down, you pull up the program, you create these images, you schedule them, you're done for the week. And then, like I said, obviously sometimes stuff comes up and I create it as it comes up. But for the most part, my stuff is created a week to 2 weeks in advance. If I'm really on top of it, it's 2 weeks in advance, but that doesn't always happen. So that's always my goal, is 2 weeks out, but that doesn't, sometimes it just doesn't pan out. And then let's see. Yeah. So content scheduling is really important for me, especially as a working mom. It's very important for me to schedule that stuff because things come up all the time, and I want to be consistent. Consistency is a really important part of any business. And so scheduling and batch creating are two of my kind of go-tos for making sure that I'm consistent in my presence on social media. Another way to and it kind of falls in with batch creating, is using templates. So if you look at my Instagram, which I'm Style Life Allie, it's like super easy to find me. It's just Style Life and then ALI. If you look at my Instagram feed, it is a grid. Like I thought it out. Everything that gets posted there is intentional, and it's placed with purpose. And I use every other picture. I have this really cool kind of template that I use, and it uses my colors, it uses my logo, and it uses my fonts. And those things are very intentional, because I want people to look at that, and it's going to be ingrained in their brain, and that when they see that template or they see that layout, that it's mine. So using a template, though, is a great way to make your life easier when you're making content, because you can say, okay, every other day I'm posting like a quote graphic. Okay. So I know I can make 10 quote graphics all at once, schedule them all out, use the same template, boom, boom, boom. Seriously, y'all, I can knock out like 15 graphics in an hour. And that's giving myself, that's with interruptions and stuff. Like if I had dedicated time to sit down and do it, I could probably knock it out in like 45 minutes. And templates are a huge part of that, because I just kind of know, I have a pre-made logo, I have a pre-made template for my quote graphics, I have pre-made templates for everything. So that makes my content creation time much lower than if I had to do it from scratch every single time I made a graphic. And then one thing that's really cool that I'll show you in Canva is how to store, sorry, my phone's on, is how to store your specific fonts and colors that you use in your branding. You can store them for super quick access. You just pull it up and it just makes it ridiculously easy. I'll show you guys that in Canva here in just a second. So now on to Canva. So for those who don't know, Canva is an online software platform that allows you to create content, and you can make different kinds of content. You can make like still images. You can make, the newest version allows you to make like GIFs. I think that's how you say it. I always say GIF, but then my friend told me it was GIF, so I'm not sure. But the GIFs, you can make those. You can make animated graphics, like you have a still frame and then things fly into the screen. Like you can make those little short kinds of videos. There's a lot of types of content that you can use Canva for. There are two versions. The first version, there's a free version, and that's great too, and it's a really powerful tool as well. I personally use the paid version. It's called Canva for Work. It's like $12 a month. In my opinion, it pays for itself in ease of use. The paid version offers a scheduling tool, so I can link my social media directly to Canva, and it will schedule out to like Pinterest. By the way, also, if anyone's curious about how to Pinterest market, let me know, because I love Pinterest marketing, and it is super powerful and has worked really well for my business. That's another platform I post on all the time. But you can schedule out to Pinterest, Facebook. I don't think you can schedule out to Instagram, but I use a different scheduler for that anyway. So another great thing about it is you can store your images right in Canva. So especially if you're using your phone, there's a phone app for it. You don't have to save it to your phone. Don't have to take up precious memory in your camera roll. But you can store it right there in Canva and easily access it for whenever you need it. You can also share it, so you can kind of create like what they call teams. And anybody who has a Canva account, you just put them on your team with their email address, and you can share editable graphics with them. So if it's if you have a downline or whatever, and you have a graphic and you want to share it with them, you can send it to them and they can use it too. And they can put their own logo on it, or they can put, whatever they need to on that graphic. So that's a really neat tool for leaders and for people who have a team or just want to share their information. So let's go in. Let me see if I can, let's see. Okay, let me share my screen here. Share. All right, Google Chrome. There we go. Share. Okay, I think it's sharing. Can you guys see my screen? I don't know if Jeff can hop back on real quick and let me know if you can see my screen. 'Cause I don't see it, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Let's see here. Okay. Here. Give me one sec, y'all. That's not what I wanted to do. Can you guys see my screen? I don't know. I'm gonna unmute Jeff for a sec. Okay, I'm gonna unmute. Oh.
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. All right, sorry, I was going like, oh, I'm panicking. Okay. All right, I'm gonna mute you again.
Okay.
There we go. Perfect. So this is kind of the main home screen that you'll see when you get into Canva. So this is my account. You can see my name up there. Wyoming Wife is kind of, I have another Instagram account and I have a blog. So that's another story. But anyways, so you can create like a username and you can create all that kind of stuff. And this is what you're going to see. So you'll see first right here, this is use Canva 1.0. 1.0 is like the original version. I'm currently using 2.0 because it has more functionality. And I really, really like it. So I'm going to lower this really quick. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I can see it. There we go. I use the 2.0. I think if you have the free version, I think you have to use 1.0. I'm not certain about that because, again, I've been using paid version for quite some time. So I don't know for sure. Hold on one second. Let me close this. Sorry, I'm hitting buttons here. So I'm using 2.0. All over here is where you're going to kind of find all your stored stuff. So all your designs, if you go into here and you scroll down, these are not mine. These are just like, for a new image, like if you're going to make a new image. These are all my images. These are all things that I have created. So here's what I was talking about with the border. And then here's my little logo. It's not like a traditional logo. It's really just my handle or whatever, but it's using my branded fonts and colors and things like that. And this is that border. And then these are like some of my party graphics. I do a lot of online parties, things like that. Here's like the start. Here, let me pull this one up so you guys can see. When you click on it, it opens a new screen. So this is an example of what I was talking about. So taking an image that's provided to us from home office and kind of not altering it, but just adding to it to kind of make it your own. So this, you can see I've added my logo down here. Let's see here. I'm going to see if I can find my mouse really quick because I am having a hard time. There we go. Let's see if I can get that turned on. Okay. There we go. Okay. So here you can see more stuff that I've created. This is just a picture. So again, the great thing about this is you can upload your own stuff. You can use images that are available there, whatever. So the first thing, and then on the side here, this is where you're going to see like shared with you. If somebody's on your team has shared an image with you, create a team, your brand. Here's where I was talking about with the all of my colors. So these are my colors. These 3 colors are my primary, and then I use black and gray too. And then my fonts that I use on a regular basis, these are the Style Life colors that are on the branding guide that's in your back office. So these, if I'm ever trying to make something that's purely like Style Life branded, those are the colors that I use. And then in here you can go find templates, but we're going to go back to all your designs. So the first thing that you are going to do if you're trying to make a new graphic, you're going to go to create a design. It's so easy. Oh, and here's what I was talking about with storing. So you can create folders and stuff. So some of these are in the folders, but this is all stuff that's stored. And I don't store everything. Once I've used it, I usually delete it unless it's something that I use on a regular basis. But so you can store stuff there. So the first thing you're going to do if you want to create a design is go straight up here to create a design. It's going to pull this down. These are the ones that I use most frequently, but there are so many, you guys. Like Instagram post, I use Instagram post and Pinterest graphic the most because those are places where I post the most that are more, it's more important to make sure you have the right dimensions to make your stuff more visually appealing based on the platform. So that's kind of another thing too, is depending on what platform you're posting on, you'll want to make sure that the sizes are right, because on like Pinterest, that graphic is tall and skinny, whereas on Instagram it's a square, and then on Facebook doesn't matter quite so much. I always use square images on Facebook, but on those two it's real important. So this automatically creates an image that has the correct pixels and the correct size, and so you can scroll all the way down. I mean, like YouTube thumbnail. So on my YouTube videos, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see they all have custom YouTube thumbnails that are like, I don't know the word, like a cover or something like that. Infographic A4, YouTube channel art, Facebook event cover. So basically anything that you could create an image for, you're going to find the size that you need. Tumblr. I don't use Tumblr. Twitter. LinkedIn, anything that you need. And so like, did I skip? Where's my Pinterest graphic? There it is. So Pinterest, so 735 by 1102. So we're just for ease of use, we're going to say we're going to do an Instagram post. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to open a new screen. And then over here, it starts with a blank page. Now, what's really cool, another awesome feature is that they have pre-made images that you can use, and you can alter those images. So like if I clicked on, let's say this one, and some of them are free. You'll see it'll say free right here, and some of them are paid. Some of them are $1. I haven't ever seen anything more than $1, but then if you see, if I hover over this, see how it highlights, and then I can click in here and I can edit this text, or I can click on this piece here and I can add or delete or move it. I can move it like over here, and I can move this one up too and see how it lines it up and makes them even. So you can get it even on both sides. If I move this, it'll tell me if it's centered, like right here. See, now it's telling me that it's centered and what it's centered to. This right here, this yellow thing is movable too. It's an overlay. So this picture right here is the background, and these are all overlays. So that's really kind of the meat and potatoes of how you make a really visually appealing and beautiful graphic, is you have layers of image. It's not just layers of text boxes and shapes and different things like that, and different, like you can make it more transparent, or, different things like that. So you can start with this, and let's say I wanted to change this and make it into one of my branded colors. So then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to choose, these are my branded colors. So it says right here, brand. So I'm going to pick my blue, and then look, it changes the color to blue. Now, one thing to be aware of is that the branding stuff, like where it stores your branded colors and fonts, that is for the paid version. I don't know that that's I'm pretty sure that's not available on the free version. It wasn't when I signed up, and that's part of why I signed up, is because I want my stuff. If I'm going to use something, I want it to be easy to use, and $12 a month is like 2 trips to Starbucks for me. So I will make coffee at home 2 times a month in order to afford this, because it's changed my business and made my life so much easier. I can even change the color of this text. So if I click on this box, this is actually, see where it says ungroup here? This is 1, 2, 3 different text boxes. So I can ungroup them. I'm going to click over here. Let's say I just want to change that one, and I want to change it to pink. Now it's pink. See, so you can literally edit. I can even change the color of this. So let's say I wanted to change that one to yellow, and then I want to change this one to yellow. See how, you can literally customize everything. I will show you here. I'm going to actually, I'm going to undo everything and start from scratch. So these are where the templates are. They're right up here in the corner. It says templates. Down here, it'll say elements, and these are things where you can search for, like, if I wanted to search for a Christmas element, like a piece of mistletoe. Let's say I'm looking for some mistletoe. So I'm going to type in mistletoe. And let's see, and it pulls up all this mistletoe. So these ones are free. This one's $1. So even on the paid version, you're still going to get some stuff that costs you money, but you get more free stuff on the paid version. So let's say let's just grab this one. So I just click on it once. I can drag it in here. I want to make it a little smaller. Let's say I want to put it like up in this corner. So I'm going to take it I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to put it right up there in the corner. And then I can, let's say I want to make a copy and I want to put it like down in the lower corner, right? So I'm going to make a copy of that. It duplicates it. Then I can do like a flip. So it's like I flip it horizontally. So it's an exact replica of that one. And I just rotate it again. And I bring it down here to the bottom. So y'all, it is so easy. Like once you get the hang of it and you really get the sense of like where you want to place things and how to layer things. Now let's say I want to add a background picture. So I'm going to go into my own uploads. And let's say, so this is all stuff that I've uploaded. Let's say I want to put this pretty sweater in the background, right? So I'm going to expand it so that it fits my whole screen because I want that to be my whole background, right? But then now I can't see my mistletoe. So what I can do is I can take this and I can hit the position button. You move it backwards and then you move it backwards again until it's behind these two things. So that's really where you can kind of customize how things are layered and where they are in the picture and like, you know, flip them around and really you can, there's so much customization that you can do with this. Let's see, I wanted to add, say if I wanted to add some text. So I'm going to go over here to my text bar on the left-hand side. Oh, and by the way, all of these uploads, these are all things that I've uploaded myself. So if you see a graphic and it has a bunch of different images of our products, that's because I've literally gone out to our website and I saved the image from our replicated site or from my own replicated site. I save it to my computer. I upload it to Canva and then I just add it into my pictures. It's so easy. I think you can even in here, I think you can crop down the image. So let's say I just wanted to use this piece for some reason. I can, now you have to make sure it's highlighted, go into crop, and it'll let me crop this image. So then I do that and then I hit done. And now all I have is that top color. So it's really, really customizable, you guys. You can do a ton. It doesn't make the background, like if you have something and you're trying to make it, you know, get rid of that stuff on the outside, then you have to do that on your own computer. But the images that you upload here, you can crop and you can customize in there. Now I can't change the color of this because it's an uploaded image. It's not something that's customizable in that way, but there it is. And then if I want to delete it, I just hit this button. Let's see, now I want to add some text. So I'm going to go over here to text. I'm going to hit add text box. So you see it right here in the middle. I'm going to increase the size to, let's say 50. Okay. So there it is. It's hard to see because of my background. So I'm going to expand this. I'm going to change the color. I'm going to make it white so that it stands out. Well, that didn't really stand out that much. Here, we'll do this. Let's make this black again. And then let's do something to make it stand out a little. So here's one thing that I do in a lot of my images. I will go into, I'm going to close this out so we don't see the mistletoe. I'll go into my shapes, or let's just do a circle because that's easier because it's right there. So then it pulls up a circle, right? So then I'm going to go in here and make this a true white. And then I'm going to go into transparency. And I'm going to lower it to usually 75 or 70 is kind of where I sit when I'm doing this, if I'm creating an overlay. And I do this a lot where if I want people to still be able to see what's in the background, like if it's a product image, I want them to still be able to see it, but I want my text to be important and be really like prominent. So come back here. So see, but it's in front of my text. So what I want to do is, again, I want to go into my position. I want to move it backwards. And now it's behind my text. And then I can change it. So when I go to the text bar, I can change. These are my branded fonts. So these are the fonts that I use in all of my graphics. So I clicked playlist and it changes it to my branded font. And I can go down here and edit that. And then I can just grab it and move it. Oops, not that. I want to move this one. So, oh, and did you see the crossbars? So you can literally, this shows me that I'm centered on the entire image. And then I want to move this so that it's centered on the entire image. So there's, I mean, it makes it so easy to make things that are really, really beautiful and really easy to use and visually appealing. So one thing that's cool too, and I don't know if you've noticed, but up here in the corner it says all changes saved. So let's say I wanted to like move this and I want to put it like on this side. I'm going to rotate it again so it fits. So I want to move it over there. Right now it says unsaved changes, but then it immediately changes it, saves it automatically. So let's say, okay, I'm done with this one for now. I'm going to rename it training. So I'm going to save that. And then it's saving it right now. Unsave changes, saving changes. Okay, then I'm going to close it. I'm going to go back here to my home screen. And it's not there yet, but if I refresh, it will show you guys, it'll show me my new image that I made. So it pulls it up right here. So I can go back in and I can edit it later. That's really important for me because I get interrupted a lot. And so it's really important for me to be able to go back in and change, if I decide I want to tweak something, or if it's specific to something like, let's say it's specific to a party I'm doing. Like if I'm creating a graphic and it has to do with my host and I want to put a picture of my hostess in there, I can change that every single time and then save it the way it is and download it and then upload it. And then I don't have to make a new picture every time. I can just change it each time. So that's really, really nice. And then what I would do from here, and I'm going to show you a feature that's only available on the paid version, and that is scheduling. So I want to go back into this one. Let's say I want to schedule it to Facebook. So I'm going to go, if I want to download it to my computer, I'll click this button, and that's the same on paid and free. So I click this button, it'll tell me download. You can choose the file type. In the paid version, Canva for Work, you can do a transparent background, which is really cool. In the free version, they don't have this option, but I can go in here and do a JPEG, a PDF, or a PNG, I call it a PNG, I don't know, a PNG. And then I would download it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go into publish, and then it gives me all of, well, I can do download from there too, I guess. You can go into here and it'll say publish to Facebook, publish to Twitter. So if I wanted to go ahead and just publish it now instead of scheduling it, I could do that. Or I could go into here to schedule, and it will pull up my schedule, and I can schedule things out for weeks at a time, like weeks at a time. I use that for Pinterest all the time because Pinterest, it's really important to have consistent pinning. So I make sure that I'm scheduling stuff all the time so that I always have content that's being pinned on Pinterest, and it boosts my algorithms on Pinterest and makes my stuff more visible. So then you would select, like let's say I want to post on Facebook, you just write a caption, and then you would go in here, you can add to queue, you can post now, you can do all that kind of stuff. So I'm not actually going to post that, but that's how that works. So I'm going to stop sharing here really quick. Let's see here. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see me now. And the last thing I kind of want to touch on. So that's a really basic, super quick, down and dirty tutorial on how to use Canva. The best way to learn it, you guys, is to just go in and use it. I've been using Canva for a while. I was using Canva before, kind of off and on. And then once Style Life launched, I really kind of dug in, and I really started to kind of get into the meat and potatoes and really use it consistently and a lot. So that's kind of why, you'll get better with practice, but just go in there and make stuff, you guys. Do not be afraid to make stuff. And work on your branding, work on things that you're, work on a cohesive look. That'll all come to you. But like I said, the best way to get good at Canva and good at content creation is to just do it. And one last tip I want to give is how to come up with ideas for content. So that's one thing that people ask me. They're like, well, I don't have any idea what to post about. Like, how do you come up with stuff to do? One of my best tricks is I have a planner. This is my planner, and I use it to plan out my schedule and what I'm going to post. So let me pull up this is this week. So if you look right here, you will see that says National Food Day. Today was National Food Day. So a post about food. Make a graphic for National Food Day. You can search online for obscure October holidays or funny November holidays or whatever, and that gives you tons of ideas. And then you just write them down in your planner or on your phone or whatever, and then you just make graphics. So when I'm sitting down at the end or at the beginning of the week making my content, I look at my calendar and I say, okay, National Food Day is on Monday or on Wednesday, so I want to make a graphic for that. Let's see what's on Friday. National Pumpkin Day is on Friday, so I'm going to make a graphic for that. National Chocolate Day is on Sunday. Of course, I'm going to make a graphic for that. I'm going to make, for Sunday, I'm going to do a poll, what's your favorite kind of chocolate? So you can create your content based on what's on the calendar. The news, what's the word I'm looking for? Pop culture, things that are happening. I try and steer clear of things that are kind of polarizing, like politics and things like that. Not that I don't have opinions, but I don't use those in my business. I don't share my personal views very publicly. So I use things that are pretty low risk, things that people aren't afraid to talk about and don't think they're going to get backlash for. So asking somebody what their favorite kind of chocolate is ridiculously low risk. It's great engagement. People really like to engage with that. Any type of low risk poll, anything with kids or anything with puppies. I swear to God, y'all, like I post a picture of my kid and people come out of the woodworks. I mean, she's really cute. I think she's really cute, but people love to talk about kids. They love to talk about their own kids. They love to talk about their pets. So that's the kind of stuff that you need to think about, is stuff that's going to bring engagement, things that people are going to want to engage on. People don't like to really engage on political posts. They don't like to engage on, stuff that, starts really heated debates, I don't think. You could also feature products. So I don't like to do all products all the time or all promotion stuff all the time. I really mostly just sprinkle that stuff in. That's kind of, I mix it in. I do a lot of narrating of my own life with, funny stuff and polls with product promotion. But you could do like once a week, do a, like this week I'm going to highlight journals. And then on Monday, you could highlight the different designs that we have. On Tuesday, you could highlight products that go really well with it, like pens, or, different features of the journal could be on another day, things like that. So those are great ways to create content for multiple days in a row. Anytime we have a promotion or a new product, like we just had the Cozy Bundle, y'all, if you did not capitalize on that, you were missing out, because that was huge. That was a really big deal. And people really liked that bundle. And it brought a lot of engagement. So that was a really big one. And then kind of another big one that people don't really think about is narrate your life, guys. Your people are shopping with you because they like you and they want to know about you and they want to connect with you. That's what this is about, right? We're connecting with our people. So narrating your life makes them feel like they know you, even if they only know you through the interwebs, even if they don't know you in real life. You want to feel that connection with them. And that's the best way to do that, is to share, if you got a crappy manicure or something, or, let's see, what am I drinking this morning? Well, I'm always drinking coffee, but, share that kind of stuff with them. Ask people how their day is. Say, this happened in my day. How's your day? Just narrating your life and encouraging your people to narrate their life as well. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to unmute Jeff. There we go. And then I guess we can do, I think you're unmuted now. Should I mute myself?
No, you did fantastic. Virtual round of applause for Ali Boucher, everybody. That was really, really well done, well said. And I was taking notes myself. The one thing I loved, well, there's two. One was I loved the thing you said about know, like, and trust. That is so prime, and it's something that's so basic that we forget. And if you follow that basic rule and attribute that to what you're doing with Canva and your entire business, I mean, the rest will take care of itself. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing too, that people don't always draw the connection between like making your own graphics and making people want to shop with you. Like, it's not just about making pictures of products that people want to buy. It's about making pictures that people can connect to, and they want to connect something to you as a person.
Right. 100%. And that they can see themselves through it. They can imagine themselves at the Thanksgiving table with the card heads and the paper plates when mom or grandma brings out the pie. I mean, that's the little stuff. Share that one that you shared with me about the dishes.
Oh, yeah. So I made a graphic. I wonder if I can pull it up and do a real quick screen share to show everybody. I made a graphic about the paper plates, and it got so much engagement and really, really big. So do you care if I screen share that again real quick?
Go for it.
Okay, I'll just share it with everybody really quickly. Okay. So you can, this is the actual graphic that I made, and then I tweaked it for Pinterest too. But it says, this holiday season, gather around the table, not the kitchen sink. So on all I did was just post, put pictures. These are just taken from the website, like I said, and I just uploaded them and put them on the graphic. But it really creates a powerful, I'm going to stop sharing now. It really created a powerful reaction with people because people were like, yeah, I don't want to freaking do dishes on Thanksgiving. And it's like people, and then, I mean, I was hosting a party online at the time and I shared that graphic in the party and people were like, seriously, that's the worst part. Like, you have to draw straws for who gets stuck in the kitchen washing the dishes afterward, right? And as the hostess, I host a lot of holiday parties. I love having people over for the holidays. And I don't like doing dishes. So we always use paper plates and they were always the ugly ones. And so now I get to use cute paper plates. People can relate to that. And that's something that, everybody can relate to. Nobody wants to use the ugly stuff at the holidays and they don't want to be washing dishes either. So this is the perfect solution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're going to do a quick Q&A. But before I do, I want to just add one more thing to that is using those graphics. I mean, Instagram is one thing, and you can't necessarily control who sees it, when they see it, etc. But having an online party and having a whole array even set up for that party, it's like boom, and then 10 minutes later we transition to mugs and journals, and then we transition to gift wrap, and it's all these little things that you can do. It's not, and Allie's saying it herself, it's not all about Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest. That's your brand, that's you, that's where they can go and seek you, and people will find you through that. But use them and get creative with your parties and things of that nature too. So it's obviously working a lot. But Allie, would you agree that without your consistent behaviors of reaching out to people and consistently working on achieving your goals, that the graphics alone don't do the trick, but you need the combination?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely key is, you were right. I mean, you can't control who sees your stuff. Like, I read a statistic from Facebook that said, people are viewing your content on Facebook in their news feed, which means that they're not going to your group, or they're not going to your page directly to see it. They're seeing what's put into the news feed, and you can't control that. And, when we think of engagement rates, a 10% engagement rate is a really good engagement rate. And that's 10% of your total followers. So like I have 180 people on my, my Facebook page, people like it. If I get to 8 to 10 people, that's good to me because that means that people saw it and people, they chose to, or they, at least 10% of people saw it. But you're right. They can't see everything unless they're going to my page directly or unless I'm sharing it to like my personal wall or something. So it's really important to maintain those conversations and just be reaching out to people. And, I had 6 parties this month. Is it 6? 6 or 7? I don't remember.
7, 6.
A lot. I have 2 tomorrow night alone online. But those people aren't going to crawl to you and ask for it, especially with such a new company. Like we know how great this company is. We're early adopters. We see the vision. We see what's happening. We're excited. Not everyone's an early adopter. They need the proof, right? So we have to give them the proof. We have to kind of show it to them and help them see how amazing it is. But they're not going to come crawl into us until everybody and their sister sells Style Life, which we hope comes soon. But it's one of those things where you just have to be consistent and not be pushy, but, offer the opportunity to people, offer them the opportunity to host a party. Say, I would love to help you get some free stuff. Like, I know that you host parties, or I know that you host during the holidays. Let me help you get ready for that and earn some of that for free, or, help your family get some stuff that they need for the holidays, things like that. But it is really important to make sure that and that's one thing that you and I have talked about is me getting over my fear of doing that. And I think once I did that, it literally just completely changed my business because I'm not afraid to, you have to approach it with the mindset of, I'm not trying to push my products on them. I'm offering them a service. I'm trying to help them. And if you let people see how you can be of service to them, that's gonna just traject you so far forward. People are gonna see that. And if you're genuinely trying to help people, and people will see through it if you're not. If you're really just trying to peddle your wares on them, they're gonna see it. You have to really have a servant's heart and that servant leadership and really trying to be helpful to people. And they'll flock to you eventually, but you really have to maintain those conversations.
Absolutely. I couldn't say that myself. Perfect. And I know that everybody's been super gracious tonight and taking the time out of their evening. So we do want to go into a Q&A. And I am, Ellie, if you could unmute, just unmute all participants.
Okay.
And we can go into that. And if either people want to go on their videos, you don't have to. But if we could just, if there's any questions for Allie on Canva, on her business, anything, Allie, are you good with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. So
it's all fair game. I'm happy to share it all.
Then have at it. I'm going to mute myself really quick.
Hi, Allie. It's Katie.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, good. Just trying to get caffeinated for the night.
All right. So I have two questions for you. My first question is, when you're doing a Facebook party, how often, well, not how often, how long do you run it for? And how long do you keep their shop link open for them to be able to order?
So when I create parties, I do them in Facebook events online, and I make them private. So if you have a Facebook business page, you can make events through that, but those events are public. And I think the biggest thing to remember when you're doing an online party is you want to make it feel like an in-person party. You want to make it feel personal. So when I'm doing my parties, I set up the event on my account, you have to be friends with your hostess first. So friend your hostess, create the event. I usually create it no more than a week out. Usually 5 days is kind of enough time. So I'll create the event 5 days out. I do parties on Thursdays and Sundays only. That's what works for me. I do them Thursday, Sundays, starting at 8:30 p.m. in whatever time zone my hostess is in. So I make it 5 days out. I make her the hostess or co-host of it. And then I, share the link with her and say, okay, you're a co-host now. You can invite your guests. I always instruct her to never invite more than 50 people. And I know that sounds kind of backwards because people are like, well, if I want more people to shop, don't I want to invite more people? Well, yes and no, because if I'm getting invited to a party and I see that she's invited 550 of her closest friends and family, I'm not going to feel like it's a real personal experience, and I'm not going to feel like she really wants me there. So I make sure that she doesn't invite more than 50. We do a lot of coaching. I post every single day leading up to the party. I never post more than twice a day, ever, except on party day, because you don't want to overload them. You don't want to be like, what the heck is this chick doing? Like, calm down, slow your roll. Like, they're just going to get annoyed, and then they're going to turn off their notifications. So it's really important to not overload them, not overwhelm. I don't jump right in with, straight up promotional stuff. I kind of introduce myself. I share, different things that are fun and engagement posts, but I only post 2 days, usually twice a day leading up to the party. And then on the party night, I post a reminder picture an hour in advance. And then I post another one 15 minutes in advance. And then during the actual party, I'm only posting for 30 minutes. So I have 4, sometimes 5 graphics that I show. And I tailor it to each individual hostess. If there is something that I think that this group of women would like more than something else, I'll throw in that image instead of what I had originally planned, because you want to really try and connect with them. But during the 30 minutes of the actual party, I only post 4 or 5 times. And then anything else that I want to have a discussion about, I do it in the comments. There's a couple different reasons for that. One, again, I don't want people who are going to jump on later, if they can't be there for the live party, I want them to be able to easily navigate the party. And I don't want them to be overwhelmed with 30 posts and not know, because when people get overwhelmed, they shut down and they're just going to exit the event. So you want to make it fun and engaging and not too scary. But also I want to comment, because commenting boosts engagement on my posts, which pushes my event posts out to my newsfeed, or out to my newsfeed and out to the newsfeed of my hostess. So that's boosting my algorithms. So I only post 4 or 5 times, and then I comment a lot, and I always respond to every comment. I always answer questions. I try and do it as much as I can in the event, again, because I want those comments and stuff to boost my algorithm. Or sometimes I'll PM or whatever. But really that's it. And then I usually leave the shop link open. It really just depends, because I have I just did a party for a girl who's in Guam, who's stationed in Guam, and they're on the exact opposite time schedule we are. So I didn't do my normal party layout because it just didn't work. I didn't want to be up at 3:30 in the morning posting. So we did it a little bit differently. And that one I left open for like a week. I have one girl who she didn't get great engagement on her party, but then people wanted to shop later. And so like 5 days after, people were shopping. So I think it just really, you have to kind of tailor it to what your hostess needs. And, if and I always ask her before I close a party. I'm never really strict about closing parties on a certain time frame. For me, it's more about making sure that everybody gets the things that they need and that my hostess feels like I served her well and like I helped her maximize her rewards and I made it a fun experience for her and her host and her guests. So I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer. I think it's just dependent upon, what your goals are and what your schedule looks like and what your hostess wants and things like that. So that was a very long-winded answer, but mostly to say that I think it just depends on, your hostess and your comfort level. I know some people like to close them quickly. I personally, to me, it doesn't particularly matter how quickly we close the party. So, I didn't mean to mute you. Hold on. Let me do this. Expand, unmute all. No.
Okay, sorry. I muted
Okay.
myself during the question. That's why. Okay.
So,
So
okay.
sorry about that. So you keep the Facebook, or let's say it is on Facebook, you keep the party open during that night. So that's when you go live and you talk about stuff. So you're basically leading up to the day of the event, and it starts at 8:30. You said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. And my second question to you is, as far as Canva, how do you get rid of the background? Once you created a logo, how do you get rid of the background so you can add it onto a picture?
Oh, you mean okay. So let me screen share and I'll show you how to do that. And again, this is something that you can only do with the paid version. So you can only remove the background if you have the Canva for Work, which is the $12 a month. But I'll share my screen really quick and show you guys how to do that. So let's go in here. And let's go I'm going to go back to my home page. I'm going to create a design. And you can pick anyone. It honestly doesn't matter because you're going to remove the background anyway. So let's just say, I'm just going to type something out and I'm just going to say KDP Style Life. We're just going to say that and make that your logo. I don't know what your logo really is, but we're just going to roll with it.
I'm trying to create one actually as this Zoom call was going on.
You are? You should.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one area where people just are missing out is their own personal branding, because you can create such a great marketing strategy and such a community just by having your logo on stuff and having your stuff personalized to you. So let's say I'm going to make it real big here. We'll put a period here because that's going to annoy me. Okay. So let's say this is your logo, Katie. And then I want to save it. I'm going to say Katie logo. Okay. So that's saved. Now what I'm going to do is, actually, you know what? Yeah, that'll work. So this is, let's say that, whatever you've had. So I'm going to go to download. I'm going to choose PNG and I'm going to hit transparent background. Okay. So then I'm going to download this. I'm just going to download it. And then mine pops up at the bottom. Yours might look different. I'm not sure. Now let's say I want to go back to home. And let's make another new design. Let's do another Instagram post. We can close this one now because we're done with that one. We're done with that one. Okay, so let's go back into untitled design. Now let's say, okay, I'm just going to put some rando background on there. Let's do this one. Actually, that's going to be hard to see. So we'll click on this one. Okay, so this is my background, right? This is the background or the template for the image I'm creating, and I want to insert my logo into it. I'm going to go into uploads. I'm going to upload an image. And my computer's running kind of slow. Sorry, y'all. It's an old Mac. And I'm going to go into my downloads because that's where yours might save to somewhere different. I'm not sure. Just kind of depends. And let's see. I need to clean out my downloads. So I'm going to click on KDP logo and see how when it uploads it, it's got that transparent background right there. So you saved it with a transparent background, and then you can upload it, and now you have your logo with a transparent background. And you can crop it just so that it doesn't really matter. It's just like empty space, but it bothers me when there's lots of empty space. So like, let's say I cropped that and it's done. So now here is your logo, and you can insert it anywhere into your picture. And let's say we want to put some of these cute little tea towels in here and make those. We're getting merry and dreaming of a white Christmas. So we're going to rotate them so they're so cute. There you go. Now you have your logo.
Awesome. Okay, so you can only use that transparent background if you have the paid version, correct?
Correct. You can download images if you don't have the paid version. You can download them to your computer, but you cannot save them with a transparent background. There are tools on my computer. I can make a transparent background on my images using my native image edit or image viewer for Mac. But it took me a lot of work to figure that out. And so, but it's a lot easier using Canva. If you're willing to pay it, it's definitely way more convenient.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. Does anybody else have any questions? I'll unmute Jeff.
Thanks. Good questions, Katie. That was really helpful.
Thanks.
And again, I was just going to, if you guys have questions about any, later, if anybody watching on the replay has questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm really easy to find on all platforms. There's not many people with my name. So feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to answer them whenever, wherever. So.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone, and thank you again, Allie, for taking the time out of your evening. I know you prepared a lot for this during the day, so thank you very, very much for your help. Whoop, that's my email going off. And until then, yes, please reach out to Allie if anyone has any questions about Canva or business and things of that nature. There's a lot of really exciting things happening with Style Life, and we're just going to keep improving day after day after day with consistent and awesome habits. So thanks everybody, and stay tuned for next week. We will have our call again at 8:30, just to 9 on Monday. So talk then. Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Do you want me to hit end meeting?
Yes, please.